It's been getting kind of cold here up in the foothills of the coastal range here in Oregon. Last night we had our first proper frost. Granted, it was only a ground frost, but that means the winter is coming. And this year, apparently, we're going to get an El Nino, which means a wetter, colder weather for us here in the Pacific Northwest. And that might mean more snow. Now, if I lived in Portland or one of the other metro areas, I probably wouldn't worry about winter tyres because the Portland metro area really doesn't get a whole lot of snow. But up here at 850, 900 feet, it really does get much colder than it does in the valley. And so this year, we're getting ready to put our winter tyres on. Now, because of COVID and everything else, our winter tyres stayed on a lot longer than they normally would. We actually kept them on, I think, until May before we went down to our local tyre shop and had them changed. Now, I've used Discount Tyre for many years, but the last time I went to Discount Tyre, many of the staff just didn't follow any kind of physical distancing safety guidelines. Some of the staff had masks but weren't wearing them, and the whole experience left me feeling kind of meh. So today, I've got a different set of changeovers planned. I'm going to try out a mobile tyre changing service. So I reached out to the folks at GoMobile Tyres PDX, and they've hooked me up with a tyre change experience. So with my custom mask on, thanks Berry Meat, I'll make sure there's a link in the description in case you want one of these awesome custom face masks for yourself. I'm here and we're going to experience what the tyre changing process looks like when two guys and a van turn up to put your summer tyres away and put your winter tyres on. If you've watched this channel before, you know that I am a fan of the Nokian Hakkapeliitta R3 winter tyres, and I'm kind of a Nokian nerd. We have the N-Tyre 2.0s for our summer tyres. I like Nokian. They are a Finnish tyre company. They really know their stuff when it comes to winter performance. And we don't get a whole lot of ice here, but when I do drive on snow, I do want decent traction. And I don't want studded tyres because studded tyres can ultimately damage the road, and we don't get enough snow even to make studded tyres a real practical alternative here in the Pacific Northwest. I'm sorry, I'm steaming up. So what we're seeing here is the guys are taking off the N-Tyre 2.0s, which both of our Chevrolet Bolts have, and they're going to be replacing them with some Nokian Hakkapeliitta R3s. We've got the R3s from last season in the garage. They've taken those out and they're going to put those on. And then we've got 4 brand new Nokian Hakkapeliitta R3s for the other car because it got through its winter tyre stash last year. So I've been talking to Fred, who is the franchise operator for GoMobile Tyre here in the Portland area. And he tells me that there are about 21 franchises operating throughout the US right now, but there are going to be more franchises opening up in the coming months and years. And while these trucks used to use generators to power all of the equipment behind me, you know, for actually getting the tyres on and off and for balancing the tyres and for also pumping the tyres up, they've now got these massive battery banks that are installed inside each truck with a big old inverter, which means when it's parked up, the engine doesn't need to run and everything is powered by batteries. Eventually, they're going to put solar panels on the roofs of the trucks too, which means that this would be a 100% solar powered operation other than driving the truck to and from the location. As I'm sure you're aware, there are no really affordable mass market electric trucks in North America right now. You know, even Tesla uses Sprinter vans to get its mobile techs out. Yes, they do sometimes use specially fitted Model S's and Model X's as well, but these trucks are pretty standard in the mobile tyre service industry. In terms of convenience, this is much more pleasant for me. I get to stay in my garden, I've been able to chat to the guys, and I've been able to experience the tyre exchange process in a really safe way. There's only been me and Fred and Eddie. Nobody else has been around. We're all wearing masks. We're all properly distanced. And so kind of any risk of passing or containing anything is pretty limited. Of course, there's also the time factor. I live out in the countryside. My nearest shop is a 20 to 30 minute drive away, which means I basically have to take out the entire morning. I have to drive down to the tyre shop. I have to sit in the waiting room with all the other people who may or may not be sick. And then I have to, wait for them to fix my car. Then I have to get back in my car and drive it home. In this situation, my cars don't go anywhere. I don't go anywhere. GoMobile Tyre comes to me. So we're one car down and the other car is now having its tyres changed over. I suppose I should probably talk about the process of setting this up. Now for me, setting up an appointment was really simple. You can either do it over the phone or you can do it via the website. Because I wanted to film today, I did actually ring and double check that that would be okay with the team before I made the appointment. And then they basically asked me a few questions about my car, where I live. So I gave them my address, told them what I had and what I needed. Now, because I am a car person, that was a pretty painless process. So I basically went, can you get hold of Nokian Hakkapeliitta R3s? And they said yes. I said, okay, this is the tyre size I need you to buy. We have a set in the garage that I want you to put on the other car. They said, fine, not a problem. And they scheduled an appointment. That whole process took less than 10 minutes. Then I got an estimate through my email. And then obviously they arrived and they booked. They sent me a text message that said, hey, Eddie is on the way, who is the mobile technician who's working with us today. Send us a mobile phone message saying he's on the way. They both arrived bang on time, exactly according to schedule, which was great because it means I wasn't stuck around waiting for anybody. And in terms of prices, let's talk about pricing, because using a service like GoMobile is a little bit more expensive than using your high street service center. Now, if you talk about my previous experiences with a brick-and-mortar store, you're looking at somewhere between $70 and $100 to switch out the tyres per vehicle. Now, GoMobile does charge a little bit more, but that is because they are coming to you, not the other way around. Now, while I pay myself below minimum wage, something I joke about quite a lot on this channel, the actual billable time that I invoice clients for is far, far higher. And I don't want to tell you how much, but it is a significant amount. So if a company wants my time and, for consultancy services or to make a video, the time we bill is far higher than the amount of time that I actually spend paying myself. So the time I would have to take driving down to town is, as I said, it's about an hour round trip. It's 20, 30 minutes down, 20, 30 minutes back. Now, obviously, I've been standing here talking to the guys and filming, but there is no reason why I couldn't be in the office if I had a regular job working. And these guys will pretty much go anywhere as long as they can park up and it's safe for them to do so. As long as they have access to your car and they can safely work on your car, then it's all good. Now, obviously, they're not going to work on your car if it's on a slope, but anything else, it's basically fair game. My driveway is quite heavily sloped, but where we park the cars is nice and flat, so that wasn't a problem. They were able to come and work on the car like that. But let's talk about prices, as I promised I would. So to mount and balance 4 tyres, that was for each car, so 2 cars, it's $150 per car to mount and balance the tyres for each vehicle, which is substantially more than you'd pay at a brick and mortar tyre place. However, as I've already said, convenience, they come to you, and also a lower risk in the world of COVID. So you have to decide whether that's worth you paying money for. For me, it definitely was. My wife and I had a chat about it and we decided, yeah, we'll give it a go. We'll try it. Now, in terms of the tyres, Nokian Hakkapeliitta R3s are not cheap tyres. They are premium winter tyres. They're non-studded tyres. They are known for their winter prowess and their ability on snow. They're not great on ice, I'm not going to lie, Studded tyres tend to be better on ice anyway, but for non-studded tyres, they have exceptional winter performance. Not great if you have a lot of heavy rain. They do sometimes get a little bit squirrely if there's a lot of standing water, but if it's actual snowpack, they are absolutely rock solid. And I've actually overtaken SUVs that have spun out on Mount Hood in my car, the one over there, because I had the right winter tyres on. I've never had to put chains on, even though we do have a set of chains. Now, a set of those, 4 of those, was $776.68. That is cheaper than I would buy them if I went online. The cheapest I could find them online was somewhere around $800, $850 with delivery, had I decided to buy them online and have them shipped to my home. Obviously, because GoMobile have a business relationship with tyre companies like Nokian, they can get those tyres at a much more preferential rate. And that obviously saves a lot of money in the process. So the grand total that I'm going to be paying today for this whole experience is just over $1,000. Now, it's $1,076.68. Now, I'm not getting any special preferential treatment for this. This is what most people are going to pay for this service. If you live a long, long way out, they do charge you extra for the mileage. But as far as tyre changing experiences go, I'm really impressed. I'm really happy. They're happy to come out if you've got any problems afterwards and kind of give you all of the aftercare stuff. And I'm really impressed with the service that I've had from Fred and Eddie today. Fred actually also runs a local car wrapping service. That's how he found out about GoMobile. He's been helping out with the service since the early days, recently became the franchisee for GoMobile in the Portland area. And he told me that in terms of staff, unlike your average tyre place where they get a lot of high school graduates and people who are fresh into the field of work who have to be trained to work in the field, everyone who works for GoMobile Tyre is already very experienced in the tyre industry. So Ed used to work for a mainstream tyre brand or tyre installation company, one of the big tyre companies in the US. He's switched obviously to working for GoMobile, but he's been able to bring years of experience with him. So even little things like, instead of taking all the wheels off and then taking tyres off and then putting tyres on, he's actually working through one by one, which means that the tyre pressure monitoring system, the TPMS system, as long as the sensors are in good condition, they don't have to be reprogrammed because he's taking off that front left wheel, putting a new tyre on it, and then putting that front left wheel straight back on that same place in the car, which means the car doesn't have to relearn the TPMS. And that can actually save a little bit of time. The Chevrolet Volt is a bit notorious for having a TPMS system that can be a little temperamental when it comes to reprogramming. So I'm happy about that, and we are all good. So there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I know it's slightly different. Thanks to GoMobile Tyre for letting me film this. I'll make sure I include a link in the description below. Thanks to the amazing people who are scrolling by on my right. They are our $15 to $49 a month Patreon supporters. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do what we do today. So thank you so much for supporting the channel. Thank you for sending us a little bit every month. It really helps and it adds up. We are now really allowing, because of you guys' support, we're now actually able to turn one of our staff into a proper full-time member of staff with all of the benefits, you know, healthcare insurance and all of that good stuff. We are finally able to provide that like a grown-up company. I guess that means it's probably time for me to grow up too. If you want to support us, you can do that using the links below. Thank you also to our $50 and $100 a month Patreon supporters. I can't remember everybody's names and I'm really bad at names, so I do apologize that I'm not giving you a shout out here, but you know that I really appreciate you. You can find links to Patreon, Ko-fi, Bitcoin, and to our merch store. There's some great new merch available from Redbubble that you can buy in time for the holidays. It's time to start shopping for your loved ones. And if you have someone who loves the channel, why not get them some cool swag with our logo or one of our fancy designs on it? you'll be helping us and you'll be getting a cool gift for them too. And we've switched to Redbubble because we were having issues with some of our other merch providers. We trust the quality from Redbubble. Actually, this shirt I'm wearing right now is not a Redbubble, but the shirt underneath it is. I wish I could show you. I'm not going to because it's really cold. But that shirt is like 4 years old and it looks like it was printed yesterday. So that's why we switched to Redbubble. Don't forget, you can subscribe to the channel in the links below, and I'll see you tomorrow. Keep evolving.